A very good morning to all the students of class 3. My name is Prerna and I'm your English teacher. And today from your English book Skyline, we are going to read a poem which is chapter 10 of your book. And who has written this poem? This poem is written by Paul King. Now, I want to ask you one thing. What are the various things that you eat in your breakfast? Maybe you eat parathas, maybe poha, maybe porridge, and maybe bread. And bread is something that most commonly we eat in our breakfast, and either we eat it with butter or with jam or maybe with some vegetables. So this poem is about three people who make it possible for us to eat that bread. It's about the effort of the three people who bring that who ensure that bread reaches all of us. So let us start reading this poem. So as I told you, this is chapter number 10 of your book, and the name of the and it's a poem, and the name of the poem is Farmer, Miller and Baker. So who are the three people that we are going to talk about? We are going to talk about a farmer, miller and baker in this particular poem. So let us start reading this poem to understand it. The farmer plows and furrows the field and sows the seed for the harvest yield. Earth, sun, wind and rain swell the seed and ripen the grain. So, what is being talked about in the first paragraph? Who is being talked about in the first stanza of the poem? It is the farmer and other elements of nature. So in the first stanza, the poet Paul King is talking about the farmer who plows and furrows the field. What is the meaning of plowing the field? It means to prepare the soil before sowing the seeds, and then he furrows the field. Furrows meaning it means to make a long narrow line in soil, whenever you have to plant seeds. So once you have done the entire plowing of the field, once you start already dug the field, then you have to prepare long lines so that you can start sowing the seeds. So after plowing of the field is done, furrowing is done, the farmer sows the seed in the entire farm for the harvest yield. Harvest, it is the act of collecting the crop. So once the crop is completely prepared, the act in which the farmer cuts that crop, it is called as harvesting. And yield is the result. It means the crop that the farmer gets. So the farmer does these three main activities. And what are the elements of the nature that are involved in growing of that crop? It is the earth. Earth means the soil here, the sun, wind and rain. So even these elements of nature are even they play a very important role in ensuring that the crop is grown properly and in the best manner possible. The reapers reap and gather the wheat. The miller grinds it to the flour sweet. The baker bakes it to the golden bread by which our body is nourished and fed. So now in the second stanza, the poet is talking about two people here. So he's talking about the miller as well as the baker. So the poet says that the reapers reap. And what is the meaning of the word reaper? It's the person who collects the crop, and miller is the person who grinds into a flour, so into that powder form. So when that wheat is grinded into a powder form, maybe white or brown in color, it is called as a flour, flour. So the reaper, it collects the entire wheat, and the miller, what he does, it grinds that wheat to make a flour out of it, flour, that white powder, white brown powder. And what does the baker do? The baker makes that it into a golden bread by which our body is nourished and fed. So the poet is in the second stanza is appreciating two people. He's also appreciating the reaper who collects the entire wheat, and then he's talking about the miller, because grinding that wheat is also a very difficult job. It is not that easy. And then he also appreciates the hard work of a baker, because the baker stands in that hot temperature to see and to ensure that a very tasty quality of bread is prepared. And then in the third stanza, the poet says, farmer, miller, and baker true, bring forth the bread for me and you. In every loaf their labor lies, blessed by earth and and sun-filled skies. So here are the word meanings given. Forth means forward, to bring something out, and labor means the hard physical work. So the poet concludes by appreciating the efforts that are put by the farmer, miller, and the baker. He says that all these three people, they put in a lot of physical labor, they put in a lot of hard work to ensure that all of us get that bread to eat. And then he also appreciates the aspects of nature, that is the earth and the sun filled skies. So the next time, whenever you are about to eat anything, whether it is bread, whether it is let's say a paratha or anything else, you should always, before eating a meal, you should always fold hands and say thank you to God for getting you this wonderful meal. And in your prayers, you can also offer gratitude. You can also say thank you to all those people who were involved in getting you that meal. So I hope you enjoyed reading this poem. Thank you so much.